Hello and welcome to Bike Ride Reviews. I'm Scott, and today we're looking at the MEELOD DK300 MAX, a moto-style e-bike with dual hub motors and two 20 amp hour batteries that the brand says will provide unstoppable power across any terrain. Well, with the current price below $2,000, that sounds like a lot of bang for your buck. But we aim to find out if it actually delivers on MEELOD's promise. Let's get started. MEELOD's DK300 MAX ships in two boxes, one containing the bike and accessories, and the other with the front wheel. And assembly is straightforward. The DK300 MAX is a motorcycle-style e-bike, built on a steel full suspension frame. It weighs a hefty 136 pounds, and it has a 440 pound payload capacity. The suspension includes a 100mm hydraulic coil fork and a coil rear shock with an external air reservoir. Both components have some adjustability. The bike rolls on 20 by 4-inch CST Scout E moped tires with full coverage metal fenders, front and rear. The DK300 MAX is an unrestricted e-bike with a 35 mph top speed, meaning that it won't comply with e-bike laws in most jurisdictions. Each hub motor delivers 750 watts of nominal power, and you can toggle between rear wheel, all wheel, and front wheel drive by pressing the power button when the bike is turned on. The motor draws simultaneously from two 48-volt 20 amp hour batteries, giving you a total capacity of 1,920 watt hours. Each battery is removable, but they're not swappable, and the included 4.5 amp dual cable charger fills both at the same time. The 2.4-inch LCD display has an integrated 3-button control pad. Beside it, there's a separate control pad for the headlight's high and low beams, the turn signals, and the horn. The turn signals are brighter than those on most of the bikes that I've tested, and they're easier to see. The drivetrain is a basic 7-speed Shimano tourney setup with a 44-tooth chainring and 14 to 28-tooth cassette. The brakes are MEELOD branded hydraulic disc with 2 piston calipers and 3.2mm thick rotors, 203mm up front and 180mm rotors in the back. These performed excellently in our braking test, stopping the bike in just 16 feet from 20 mph. Lastly, the DK300 MAX connects to the BikeGo app with Bluetooth, giving you access to advanced settings and diagnostics. A second app called Eye Protector must be downloaded in order to use the built-in GPS tracker and the anti-theft features. This app also allows you to navigate turn-by-turn navigation on the display. Both apps are available on iOS and Android. MEELOD says that the DK300 fits riders from 5'3" to 6'2". I'm 6 feet tall with a 33-inch inseam, and it's too cramped for proper pedaling. But this is common for motorcycle-style e-bikes. However, the top tube mounted battery is also pretty wide, so my knees were forced out at a bit of an awkward angle while I'm pedaling. Combine that with the limited gearing range, and it becomes pretty clear that this bike isn't really designed to be pedaled for more than a few seconds at a time. Riding with throttle power is a much more enjoyable experience. The throttle's power output is based on the chosen pedal assist level. In all pedal assist levels, the bike accelerates in a smooth, controlled manner, rather than aggressively, like the dual-motor Iahora Romeo 2 that I recently tested. I appreciated the throttle's torque output at higher speeds. It still provides a nice boost from, say, 28 to 31 mph, whereas most bikes lack that torque injection when approaching the top speed. The DK300 MAX topped out around 32 mph on flat ground for me. In our hill climb tests, in dual motor mode, it was the second fastest of all the bikes that I've tested, just behind the 5,000 watt Iahora Ultra 2, and significantly faster than Pucky Puppy's dual motor Golden R. With one motor alone, the bike was much slower, dropping below the average for the 750 watt rear hub e-bikes that I've tested, likely due to the high weight. On pavement, the DK300 MAX is comfortable and stable. The high weight and fat tires give it a planted feeling at speed. The frame also feels solid, with no shimmy or flex, and the bike feels well made overall, although there's some light rattling from the rear fender, and the rear suspension. Off-road, the bike surprised me. It handled washboarding, packed gravel, and dirt tracks at speeds above 20 miles per hour. For me, the suspension fork is the weak point. It's a hydraulic coil fork with 26 compression dampening stops, and at 200 pounds, I had to set it just 4 stops from fully closed to keep it from bottoming out regularly. Nonetheless, it still bottomed out hard on bigger hits. The rear suspension performs better, as you can adjust the air pressure and preload of the shock's air reservoir. For something this heavy, the DK300 MAX handled tighter trail sections better than I expected. That said, it's not a mountain bike. So while you can push through some tight, rooty trails, it's best kept to more open roads and paths. One thing that I disliked about riding the DK300 was the battery indicator, which is a single line on the right side of the display. During the range test, the battery dropped roughly 50% after just 8 miles using pedal assist 5 in dual motor mode. The low battery warning appeared after 22 miles, but the bike provided power for another 11 miles after showing that low battery warning. In total, the bike lasted 33 miles in dual motor mode. I performed the range test almost exclusively using throttle at max power, as pedaling is just so uncomfortable for long periods. Using just one motor or a lower assist level, the max range would be increased considerably. And if you're willing to pedal, you'd get even more range. At 136 pounds, this bike is too heavy to be lifted or transported on a bicycle rack. So you need a rack designed to transport a dirt bike, moped, or motorcycle. The DK300 MAX's power and stability were the main highlights for me. The bike quickly reaches 30 miles per hour, and it feels planted at these speeds, even over light off-road terrain. However, the fork easily bottoms out from sharp hits, and the bike's heft is felt on tight sections. While 33 miles of real-world range in dual motor mode is a decent return for such a heavy bike, you might expect more from almost 2,000 watt-hours of power. As is the case with most motorcycle-style e-bikes, the DK300's geometry makes pedaling an uncomfortable task, so you'll realistically be relying primarily on throttle power. The high weight and inaccurate battery meter also make it harder to live with, and the 32 mile/hour top speed means it's illegal in most states. If you're willing to accept these drawbacks, and you're looking for a motorcycle-style e-bike for mixed terrain cruising, the DK300 MAX seems to be a decent offering at this price, with no major flaws experienced from my short testing period. So what do you think of the DK300 MAX? Is it a contender for your next e-bike? Let me know in the comments. And if you're riding a MEELOD e-bike, I want to hear about your experience. If you're still looking for your next bike, check out bikeride.com. We've got hundreds of bike reviews, plus handy search tools and our curated list of best bikes to narrow the search. You can also find ride events near you to join, brush up on maintenance with our repair guides, or discuss anything to do with bikes in our forums. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next review.